All right, folks, I've got a great guest here with me today. My second guest I've ever had, Mr. Colt Ford. How's things going over there for you on your end, brother?
Good, man. Just glad to still be hanging around. If I couldn't be your first, I'll take the second.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, like I said. I guess we'll kick this thing off with, it came across my email that, Colt Ford interview opportunity. I was like, Colt Ford, like I've known who that guy is for a long time. My dad's listened to you, a couple buddies of mine have listened to you for a long time. You're one of like in my opinion, like OGs of like the country rap scene.
Yeah.
I don't mean that to like age you at all, but
No, I get it. When I get that a lot, people go, "I've been listening to you since I was like, I know it makes me feel old." Now, it used to bother me, but after what I went through, I don't mind. I'm still just happy to be here. So
yeah,
yeah.
man, absolutely. Just to kind of build on that, I just wanted to know like with you kind of like blending country and rap, like I've always been kind of interested in people that do that and like what their influences are. So like what was your influences leading into that?
I was probably graduated high school before you were even born, and I grew up. I loved old country stuff. My
Mhm.
dad's from Hartwell, Georgia. I mean, just sharecropping family, didn't have indoor plumbing until he was 18. So you love what your environment is, and my dad loves old country stuff. So I like that. Then all of a sudden I heard Rapper's Delight and Run DMC, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that. I mean, and I thought that was cool, and it just kind of evolved. I mean, I love some Charlie Daniels, and Mr. Charlie was so good to me, and he's told me, he said, I think you're picking up where I left off, and I was like, once he endorses it, in my mind, other than
Yeah.
Jesus, that's pretty good. I ain't worried about what nobody else says.
Yeah. I don't doubt that at all. When did he pass away again? What year was that?
My, you asked me a
That
mental.
wasn't that long ago. Wasn't
I
it
can't
2020?
remember anything now since my memory used to be pretty good before the heart attack, but
Yeah.
uh, it ain't as good now. It's been good Lord.
I want to say it was 2020, I think. Because it was like him and Joe Diffie and like Charlie Pride. I feel like that was
Yeah,
all
I
like in
feel
the
like
same
maybe it
time
was
period.
three, and Joe was during the pandemic. 2020, yeah,
Okay,
February.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think that's cool, man. One thing I've noticed about your catalog is like you've had a lot of collaborations with some of the best names out there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like Jamie Johnson, Jake Owen, Jason Aldean. You've got Michael Ray on this upcoming project. It's going to be kind of a hard question for you, but which one was your favorite over the years?
I get that a lot. Honestly, I haven't, I've never worked with anybody that I wasn't friends with.
Hmm.
So I don't, it's never been set up by managers and I don't operate like that. I don't move that way. So for me, it's like, I talk to the artist, they're my friend, and I go, hey man, what you think about this song? And I want them to love it as much as I do.
Hmm.
And I've had artists that have said, "No, I don't know. I'm not sure about that." And so that's okay too, because I want them to love it too. It's got to be, I want it to mean something to them the way it does to me. So that's the way I've always done it. And so I wouldn't say I necessarily have a favorite.
No, yeah, I
Like I
understand.
said, because they're legit, really, truly friends. Like I pick up the phone and call them.
Hmm. I think that's the best way to have a collab too. I mean, I feel like you see
Easier.
a lot of people that are, put together by their label, and it's like, do these people even like know each other on any type of personal
There's a
level?
lot of
But
that. It's pretty rampant right now, but it's okay as long as it makes good music. I don't care.
hmm, absolutely. One of the guys that I know you were buddies with is Toby Keith.
Uh,
Um, I've seen like pictures of you like golfing with him on the internet and whatnot, and I saw you telling a story about him the other day. What's one Toby Keith story that you have that will definitely stick with you forever? What's one that you would really like to get out there to the world?
wow, there's so many, Toby.
Mm,
he just. I remember I was at his house writing, uh, and he took me to uh, his OK Corral Kids Hospital. I wanted to go check it out. So people don't realize, this is something that Toby created out of his own pocket. It's like a mini St. Jude's
mm-hmm.
there in Oklahoma. And he told me, we walked through. These parents don't have to pay for anything. Everything is covered. They bring in chefs to cook for them, private rooms. They got it. They got it all. And I watched this guy. Toby and I were leaving. He had done all his stuff, signed a bunch of stuff for things, and this guy comes running out of there, Mr. Keysman, and he was a big old guy. Toby's a big guy. This guy was a big old roughneck, old field worker,
Hmm.
hard living. You could tell.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I know what that I mean, and he just broke down and just started sobbing and telling Toby like my kid would die without you. I mean, like I just wanted to say thank you and Toby, it's there's times like that when you could make somebody feel small. Toby just picked him, just hugged him and made him feel. He's like, brother, I got it. We good. I mean, and that just blew me away just to watch a big tough guy like that because I've seen that with some of my soldiers tell me stuff, like man, your music, and they break down. I was like, it made me feel something, and that's why I play music. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and Toby, he used to call me Little Dog Daddy. I mean, he was Big Dog Daddy, and that's honestly how I woke up. I came out of the coma with Toby stepping out behind the light, and he said, "They ain't ready for your little dog going back down there." And
Yeah.
that's when I woke up.
I love that, man. I mean, just for
It was
obviously I
it
didn't know
was
Toby
crazy,
Keith,
but
but from
that's
the outside looking in, like I don't, I'd fully believe what you're saying there. Um, Speaking of that though, like, so you had a widowmaker heart attack, right?
I had two of them.
You had two, yeah.
Anything worth doing is worth overdoing,
Was it so?
apparently.
If you had two of them, so when were they? Like, was it at the same time or?
Yeah. So I walked off stage April 4th in Phoenix, Arizona, and got on my bus and just basically fell over dead. They brought me.
Um,
They
for
brought me
people that
back.
don't know, like, what's the difference in like a regular, like, I guess regular heart attack
Hell,
and
I
a
don't know. I don't
widowmaker?
know. I don't know what the difference is, but I don't want none of them. I can tell you that. And
Yeah.
I don't remember any of it. It was 20 hours of surgery. I mean, it was 10 liters of blood. I was on ECMO. I was. It was a lot more than we could report as it was happening because it was just too much.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I remember I got like in my email that morning, the following morning that it had happened. I was like, wow.
it was.
But
It was
I'm glad you made through that, man. Honestly.
the doctor told me I was 1% of 1%. I mean,
Yeah.
he said, I have no idea how you survived. I'm just glad I did.
I mean, I'm a man of faith as well, so I believe that, that was for a reason,
No
100%.
question.
Um, so I mean, kind of bridging that to your new record, how like obviously there's probably some influences from what you went through showing up on this record, and can you kind of just talk about that and kind of what your headspace is right now in terms of writing songs and making songs again?
I'm ready. I've just, a lot of this record was kind of, I mean, I'd already had it kind of molded together. I just hadn't finished it all.
Mhm.
Uh, so it did make me change my mind on a couple of things. And my voice not working for a year, all of a sudden, when you work as much as I did, my voice, I was like, I could do this. So there's a lot more songs on here like Trucks on Fire and Tracks. And unless you do, like, people hadn't really heard me do anything like that before. And I'm really leaning into that. I really enjoy that. And that's kind of finding my voice in that sense of it. So it's, uh, it's just neat. I got a bunch of stuff that needs to be written
Mhm.
since the accident that I literally have not done. I've just got to, I had to get back to playing first and finishing this record, and now I'm gonna get get in, kind of dig in a little bit and kind of suss some of these thoughts and ideas that
Mhm.
have changed in my life in the last year and a half out.
I think that'll be cool. I mean, just from, listening to your music over the years, like I've always thought of you as someone that's like making these like, kind of upbeat, kind of fun
Yeah,
songs.
that's the thing is I've always been kind of Nashville will say all the time like, man, it's hard to find tempo songs. I was like, you ever listen to one of my records? I have them on every record. What are you
Every
talking
single
about?
one.
I mean, like I ain't nobody, so how can I find a tempo one and y'all can't? I mean,
Yeah.
or maybe I'll write it. You can call me and I'll write them one. But
Mhm.
that's kind of always been me. And I sometimes when I've done more serious stuff, sometimes people dig it. Sometimes they don't. I mean, for me, I'm just making stuff that I'm going back to the way I started. I'm not chasing anything. I'm not
Yeah.
chasing radio or any of that. I'm chasing making the best songs I can make that I like. That's how, when I did Ride Through the Country, people were like, I don't know. I was like, well, I know there's people that think like I do. I bet you they like it. And that's who did like it. And so, it's just been lucky to be here, still be here 20 years later and to play these shows, see the fans still be there, and it's pretty neat. Growing up, like what you're talking about, like I have some people, man, my dad was listening to you. I was 13, and now they're sitting there 25 years old, drinking a beer watching me play.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool.
Absolutely, man. That has to be like a good full circle moment for you. And you talk about kind of not like pandering to radio or trying to get on radio anymore. But if I'm being honest, just from, my experience listening to country radio, I think it's more of a compliment to not be on it right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, honestly, when I started, I'm probably about 10 years ahead of the curve, really.
yeah,
I mean, because when I started, they looked at me like I had eight heads, and
yeah,
well, I feel like Merle Haggard compared to some of the stuff coming out of here now. So,
no, absolutely.
at the end of the day, I never made music to win an award or get a trophy, or I make music so hopefully somebody like it, and somebody, it means something to somebody, and so I'm gonna just keep doing that whether they play me or not. It ain't stopped me for 20 years, so.
Yeah. Why change it now? Yeah.
There's a lot of them that are so indebted to it that if you take it away from them, they ain't got no career. And
Hmm.
I'm lucky that that's not the case. My fans are still sticking around, so I'm gonna keep giving it to them.
Yeah, I think that's where the best music comes. And speaking of songs you've written, I'm sure you've been asked this a million times over the last decade and a half or however long it's been, but Dirt Road Anthem, I'm a big
Yeah,
Jason Aldean fan. I've never really I didn't look into it or anything before this. I wanted to hear it from you. Like, what kind of happened during that time period? Like, obviously, I think I saw something about you saying like, you were moving on to your next record, so you didn't really care that Jason Aldean cut it and you thought that was great and everything, but what kind of happened with that?
it's my song. It's mine and Brantley's song. I
Yeah.
mean, it's my first record. Me and B wrote it, and we didn't know what we was doing. We just write something we liked. We wrote that song in 30 minutes.
Hmm.
On our way to go write another write that we spent 8 hours, and I don't know what we wrote. But we didn't know, just made the song, and it started go. It did what it was doing, and I was playing with Jason in Florence, South Carolina, and we got done, and we were sitting out back, and he goes, "Man, that's crazy to watch 10,000 people sing a song that they ain't never been on the radio." And I was like, "Yeah, well," and Michael Knox, his producer, really liked the record.
Yeah.
And it just, Michael Knox started pushing him he's like, "You really need to cut this record, cut it." And Jason, I think he hit me from the studio. He was like, I don't know if I can do it. I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "I can't say it like you." I was like, "Well, don't say it like me. Say it like you." And so it was, obviously you're as a songwriter. I mean, that's one of the biggest in the world. So I meant like, and to have your buddy cut it, your buddy wrote it. I meant like that's how can it get better than that? And so again, I was people like, "Well, why didn't I?" Say, "Well, they didn't play it for me. They wouldn't play me." I mean, that's somewhat frustrating to look at it and go,
Yeah.
"Well, why didn't you play?"
Yeah.
He didn't do it any different. I mean, he did the exact same song I did,
Hmm.
but it is what it is. But he said he wanted to do it. Brantley and I, we just didn't realize there would be such blowback from the fans. Like fans were, Brantley and I were so underground at the time. It just they just went nuts with it. They were so mad that he stole the song. And Brantley and I had to make a video going, "He didn't steal the song. It's okay. Believe
We're all
me.
friends here.
It's paying for our kids' college. Like, we're happy that he cut the song." Like, so, and again, I don't know that if you could name some other artists that if they said they wanted to cut that song, and I know them, and I'd go, "Yeah, you don't know, you don't really know what that song's about,"
Yeah.
and so that would have been different. But Jason, 100% knows what a dirt road in
Oh
Georgia is.
yeah. I mean,
So
I feel I've heard him.
I was happy to have some, because you hear some songs, you go, "That dude ain't never been nowhere near none of
Yep.
that."
Yep.
But that's not true there. So I'm proud of that record.
Yeah. I feel like I've heard him say before, like, it was either him or Michael Knox. They were like, "We're not cutting something that Jason wouldn't say." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Well, I've always said that. Like, there's some songwriters in town, big songwriters that I've written with before, and I've never gone back because they start trying to give me some rules about. I'm like, "There's no rules to this shit. I can say
no.
what I want to say." I mean, like, how else did you want Jamie to describe? Traded all that for cocaine and a whore. What else you
Yep.
want him to say? I meant like you want him to say a woman of the night and some. I mean, like that.
It don't
There
sound
ain't
the
no
same.
way to say
It
it.
don't.
I say ain't. That's what I say. I mean, like, I ain't gonna say a word that my fans have to look up what it means. So.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the type of artists I gravitate towards, like ones that are not going to cut something because they're told to cut it, or they haven't
I,
experienced it to the slightest. You know what I mean? I
I
think that's
will
pretty cool.
say that is one thing that I have really been lucky and blessed to do. I ain't never had
Yeah.
to cut something I didn't want to cut, and I know a lot of my good friends that have
Hmm.
had. I mean, they have had to do it, and that kind of sucks. They shouldn't
Yeah,
be
it
forced to do
does.
it. Let the artist be the artist.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of it, to be honest. Like, I kind of can read about things, but I feel like that's what sucks with a label sometimes. Like,
They get in the way.
yep,
There's
yep,
been quite a. I'm not. I can't really say who they are, but there's
yeah,
been quite a few other collabs that I've done that were absolute bangers that got shut down.
yep.
And it's like, boy, I wish you could let somebody hear this, but it's the way it goes. It's the way it is.
Just the way it goes. Well, I loved hearing about that. Last thing I have for you, I was kind of talking about it earlier because I saw, like I said, I seen some pictures of you and Toby golfing on the internet. Um, I saw something about you used to be a golfer, and I didn't want to read that much about it because, like I said, I want to hear it from you. I want to hear from your perspective,
Yeah,
just about your golf.
I played professional golf for 10 years. I played
Yeah.
the tour for 10 years. Like,
Mm,
there's a lot of guys in country music that play golf and that are good players.
yeah.
I made my living playing golf.
Yeah.
I don't even entertain the conversation of who's better when I'm talking to Jake and all these guys. A lot of guys, good players, like not making a living. I made
Oh
a
yeah.
living doing that. Like, I mean, so listen, I did it for 10, I played for 10 years and, I used to play pretty good.
Yeah.
It's cost some of them a little bit of money to find out because like, it's on the internet. I'm not hustling,
I
like you
know.
can.
I'm gonna dive into it now that I've
Problem
talked to you
was they
about it.
just didn't believe it. So when I was 330 pounds and still shooting 65, that really bothered them. And
Yeah.
I like that, and that's fun for me.
Is there someone that like stuck out in terms of like how good they were? Maybe not like, oh, I'm better than them or they're better than me, but like they're just good.
In
I've heard
music,
about Jake Owen and I've seen him
Jake can
play on
really
like
play.
TV and stuff. So,
Jake is a very good player.
mm,
Jake can really play. Uh, New artist George Burge.
mm.
George should probably be the best overall player, uh, but he's got two little boys, so I don't
Did
know if he's.
he just cut one of your songs, didn't he? Or you wrote a song
But
with
yeah,
him
we
or something?
wrote "Mind on You."
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
a good one. Yeah, that I just had the number one party not long before I fell over dead.
Hmm. And that
Yeah,
was what,
but George is really
April of
pleasant.
last year, right?
Yeah, Charles Kelly is a good player. Darius plays a lot. There's a bunch of guys. Hardy can play. Mike, I met Hardy's pretty good. There's a lot of guys that can play. But I meant, like I said,
Hmm.
it's playing, and then there's, it's like there's a lot of guys that play guitar. Not a lot of them play it like Keith Urban, but I mean,
Right.
there's a lot of guys play guitar.
Yep.
Yeah. So golf's been great though, and it's been fun to, during the pandemic, I didn't have nothing to do, so I started practicing a little bit, and I went and qualified and played in two Champions Tour events on
Oh
the
yeah.
senior tour. Yeah. So hopefully I can get back to it one day. I just haven't played since the accident.
I'm horrible. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I've always wanted to try to get into it, but I played my first ever golf match this summer, back in July, and dude, I was horrible. I was trash. So
It's a hard sport. It is a hard thing,
yeah,
and
I'm at the stage. I'm just kind of in the curiosity stage, like trying to pick people's brains that have done it for a while. So I
it's a
mean, dude,
wonderful thing, honestly, once you play a little bit, to be able to get out there with four of your buddies out
yeah,
there on a pretty day. I mean, it's hard to explain until you kind of experience it.
hmm,
There'd be no way for me to truly explain what being on stage in front of people is like. And
hmm,
so once you get to do it, though, it really is good and relaxing and fun. Uh, but that's my problem. I played it at a level that was way up here. And so
hmm,
now me trying to go relax and have fun and not be able to do what I normally do, that gives me anxiety in my head just thinking about that.
yeah,
Like a friend of mine goes, "Man, I finally shot 85." I'm like, I'd punch a baby in the face if I shot 85. Like that would drive me, I'd kill somebody. Uh, so, I mean, it just is what it is.
that's awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you taking the time with me. Like I said, I've had a few interview opportunities, but I'm trying to get into it, and once I see somebody I actually want to interview come across my email, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna hop on that, and you were one of those
I
people.
appreciate you
So
having me, man. We just got to get started and get out there.
yep,
So I'm glad to be a part of your journey some kind of way.
yeah, I appreciate you very much, man. You take care though.
Right on, brother. We'll talk to you soon.